Alright, this is Base to Your Face. Today we are talking about recast T'Challa. It has to happen. It's a must. I'm going to let Atkins start off with this one.
Black Panther, it's vital right now at this moment that the role gets recasted. With certain people's roles being expanded, with the pushbacks, with the script being changed, obviously the movie is not being handled properly. Secondly, with this film being the highest grossing of all the solo films in Marvel, solo hero films, for it to not be put in the highest regards in terms of casting, it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, we're not counting the Tom Holland joint in Solo because they brought Toby back. That's a team-up movie.
Yeah.
But continue. Of course. And that would actually bring me into a topic that I wanted to speak on, is why they dragging their feet with Black Panther and Blade, right? Now, speaking of Blade, once again, black superhero, R-rated movie, successful. The list goes on. Had a trilogy. Yeah, the third one was iffy, but the first two were amazing, and they got 3 movies out that franchise. That's a successful franchise. Why haven't we got another Blade since 2004? Why haven't we gotten another Black Panther since 2018? Why haven't we gotten another Spawn movie since the 90s? The problem is that with these black heroes, what they do is they use it to prop up these franchises. They did the same exact thing with John Boyega in Star Wars, where they was able to sell 3 movies on making people think that John Boyega was going to be some type of black Luke Skywalker. So, Black Panther is the last OG Avenger left. So, in the comics, the original Avengers is like Hulk, Iron Man, Captain America, Hawkeye, Black Panther, Black Widow. Those are like the main Avengers. And then Spider-Man is part of like the new Avengers. They don't have Captain America no more. They don't have Iron Man no more. Yeah, they got Thor, but Thor Dark World, which was Thor Part 2, was considered one of the worst Marvel movies in history. The only one to date that even sniffs that movie in terribleness is Eternals. Okay? So, why would you not recast one of your last heavy hitters? Why would you just do away with a character that, to be honest, from what I saw, the trajectory of it, he kind of seemed like he was going to be the natural leader of the Avengers. Yeah. If you notice in Infinity War, when him and Captain America was running running the war, he was faster than Captain America. The technology that was in Wakanda could have also kind of replaced what Iron Man brought to the table after he died with Shuri. Because, see, you have to let people play the roles that they meant to play. That also brings me into the Shuri thing, right? And I want Akin to touch on the political agendas of these movies after this point. But Shuri was already abnormally and exceptionally smart black woman character. I'm talking about, she was obviously smarter than even Tony Stark in the Black Panther movie. You understand what I'm saying? So why would you now reduce that role of her to now put her in a role that she was never meant for? She's not meant to play Black Panther, at least not right now. And yes, I know that in the comic books, they had a variation of Shuri that did take up the mantle, but that was way after Black Panther had already been going on missions, and then they actually brought Black Panther back anyway. I read another comic book where I think it was just some random black guy from New York that put on the mantle of Black Panther. You know what I'm saying? So every hero, a lot of people put on the Batman mask. Terry McGinnis was Batman Beyond, but you don't see any Terry McGinnis movie even trying to replace Batman. They came out with another one. Matt Reeves is doing one, which we'll get into a little bit later as well. But the bottom line, man, is you can't let go of a character who's so vital to even just the DNA of the Avengers. You can't, what you gonna do? Put one of the Eternals as the leader? Yeah. Fucking Falcon? Anthony Mackie? No. Nobody wants to. First off, and I'm not even a dude who's just gonna talk out of my ass and say, yo, Falcon and the Winter Soldier sucks, and then see it. I watched Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That shit was whack. Yo, first off, Black Widow. They gave her a movie, and Shorty was already actually dead in the actual movies. So they gave her a movie literally to introduce the new blonde hair girl that was in that Cult movie. Yeah. You know, come on, get the fuck out of here. So you giving a dead character a movie, but an actual alive character, you literally waited till he died to not only to just not replace him, to just do it with Shuri. But you know, Akin was talking about some of the political reasons why they may not do it and how it relates to the Civil War movie where we actually first saw Black Panther. So I want to let him get into that.
So the first is the social reasons, right? If you look at the Eternals, Marvel is more involved, more interested in all-inclusive storylines. That means more storylines that center around trans movements, gay movements, and women representation. So if you look at the Eternals, they have everything across the board, and Black Panther is really not a representation of that. You know, Black Panther is a strong symbol of duality of man, woman, and nation. So they wouldn't want to do that. Secondly is the political reasons. You know what I'm saying? So firstly, Wakanda is a black nation state with resources and with a strong black populace. You know, China, which didn't air or show any Black Panther during the time of its release, they are involved with extracting the resources out of the continent. Also, the US as well too. You wouldn't want to make another film where you have a black nation taking their resources, benefiting off those resources, and also having a strong culture. First and foremost, Bucky kills T'Challa's father. Somewhere in that movie now, he is now in Wakanda.
They call this motherfucker the White Wolf. Go.
He gets called the White Wolf, or whatever. But Bucky now is in Wakanda. He's forgiven for killing the king of Wakanda. Regardless if it's brainwashing or not, if you really put it in reality, if somebody brought the murderer of his father into your strong nation, how does the king convince the people not to kill him and say that what he did was by brainwashing? You still have to take him out. So secondly, that movie on a subconscious level is saying, look, black nation, please forgive the white murderers of your fathers and your ancestors.
Your ancestors is a fact.
Secondly, Michael B. Jordan. He was a revolutionary. Like, they kind of try to put Malcolm X within the character of Killmonger, right? Now, of course, any viewer will understand why a character like Killmonger will want to do what he wants to do. You know what I'm saying? But what they try to say is, listen, yes, black man, you are militant. Yes, you want revenge, but it's not right. And at the very least, it's going to be your own people that take you out. And also, they're just trying to tell you, listen, we know what happened, but it's not that bad. Please, there's other things beyond just going against the Western powers that oppressed you. Do other things. You know, fight amongst yourselves.
Yeah, join the Avengers.
Join the Avengers.
Join the billionaires. Join Tony Stark. Join the white gods like Thor. Mm-hmm. Join America, which is Captain America. Yes. And be under them. Don't have your own nation. And that is the farthest from the truth. From the T'Challa that's in the comic books. Yes. There was a comic book that they came out with called The Illuminati, where it's Professor Xavier, Tony Stark, Mr. Fantastic, Doctor Strange. And Black Panther was also a part of the Illuminati for a hot second, but he left because he didn't appreciate or agree with their views of the world. He leaves the Illuminati, and then, you know, Tony Stark and them start trying to go into Wakanda and things like that. There was one variation of these comics where Black Panther actually kills Tony Stark in the jungle. You know? And I'm not saying put something like that in the movie, but even if you look at a comic book like See Wakanda and Die, when you really learn that Wakanda has never been conquered and never will be conquered. Yes. Because that's how thorough.
Because the leadership of T'Challa.
Because the leadership and his intelligence is even bigger than Batman. That's why, and his comic books are very successful. That's why they keep on coming out. This is not the T'Challa that we saw in Black Panther, the movie. We saw a hint of it in Civil War. We saw a hint. Yeah. Now, in Civil War, he doesn't kill Bucky in Civil War, which I feel like, for the record, and I'm gonna say this right here, Bucky should have been killed in Captain America Civil War.
Yeah.
I think that would have added a better arc to Captain America himself. It would have added a better arc with who Black Panther was, and the fact that he's never, even in the comic books, he's never really a part of the Avengers. He helps them and stuff like that, but he's always like, even though the Avengers do their thing, Black Panther is known for, he also does his thing, and he's gonna do what's right for his people. Even if you see a comic book like Secret Invasion where the Skrulls came down, I'm on my nerd shit right now. But even if you see a comic book like that, they actually did a variation of that in the cartoon Avengers, and Black Panther said, okay, there's Skrulls everywhere. I'm leaving y'all. I'm leaving the Avengers, and I'm going to Wakanda to make sure that my people's good first. Yeah. And I'm not trusting none of y'all. Yeah. So Black Panther is known for making hard decisions, known for being intelligent, known for having a strong people behind him. So why the fuck you got white ass Bucky wrapped in the African attire, sitting in the fire with Okoye and the other bald-headed warrior ladies?
After he killed the old king of Wakanda.
After he killed the old king of Wakanda.
Now I just want to touch on Civil War, right? Because people don't understand how deep Disney and Marvel is into politics and the agenda. It's not only about Black Panther because he's black. You know, the original Civil War was about the elitist mentality of Iron Man trying to put more control over the rest of the heroes of the world. Meaning, take off your masks, right? Register within our system so we know who you are for our safety. What does that sound like? Marvel and Disney didn't want to touch the original Civil War concept. No. That makes no sense.
First off, even when you look at Tom Holland, Spider-Man, yes, he got his suit. You know, during Civil War, Iron Man makes his suit. Yeah. Right? But what they also don't let you know is that Spider-Man defects. He defects from Iron Man and winds up joining Captain America's cause. Because he starts to believe, wait a minute, people are impeding on our rights. First off, the way that they depict Iron Man in the movies is also not the real Iron Man.
Not completely accurate.
It's not. Now, yeah, he is a billionaire. He does save the world a few times. Quite a few, actually. But Iron Man also does a lot of questionable things in the comic books to where there's been times that the Avengers had to team up and stop him.
And because he's so intelligent, so rich, he feels like his opinion and perception about how the heroes should move and how the world should be operated, it trumps everybody else. What does that sound like in the present time we're in?
So, I do want to touch on Shuri, and I do want to touch on the guy who plays M'Baku.
Yes.
They've changed this movie 2 times,
at
2
least,
or 3 times.
At very least twice.
So, you know what? I would actually argue that they changed it 3 times. Because if you remember, he had the first script.
Yeah.
They changed that to...
Once the child passed.
They changed that once, so that's the first change. Yeah. And then they wanted to... Because they wanted to kind of add the entire Wakanda and make it something about the whole Wakanda.
Okay.
So now they say, okay, how about we just make Shuri Black Panther?
Yeah.
That was the second change.
Okay.
Shuri, obviously smart, black woman character, intelligent. We love Shuri. We here for you, girl. But she couldn't do the action in the movie and she got injured.
Yes.
Right? And then obviously she's as smart and as outspoken in real life as she is in the movie because she was speaking out about certain types of things that Disney didn't agree with at the time. So now they want to backtrack and say, look, okay, she's not going to be Black Panther. Yeah. Right? So that's 2 changes already. Mm-hmm. And now they say, look, and the guy who played M'Baku, who was really just there to get his ass kicked by T'Challa, yeah. Let's make him Black Panther and pretend like he's gonna somehow be better than the original T'Challa who beat dog shit out of him in the last movie. You understand what I'm saying? It's just like, okay, you said a great analogy, and I actually want you to say that basketball analogy.
Yeah, so if you know, Draymond Green plays in the Golden State Warriors. He's a great player, but expanding the role of M'Baku. Yeah, you know, it's like expanding the role of Draymond Green, where yeah, they're good players, but they are supporting cast players for a reason. You know what I'm saying? If you was gonna bring up Shuri to be the Black Panther, you should have casted her like she was gonna be Black Panther.
but they didn't.
But they didn't.
See, if they would have casted the girl who played in James Bond, I forget her name.
Yeah.
But you remember the girl who played in like the latest James Bond movie?
Yes.
If you would have casted her, I still would have wanted you to recast T'Challa. But her as Black Panther would have been like, okay, it's cool for this one little movie.
Yes.
Like, or not one little one, I'm just saying like, I would get it. But Shuri, but that brings me to Ryan Coogler. Like I said, Ryan Coogler, I don't feel like he ever should have directed this movie. And I think that when it goes towards Marvel, the problem where I'm kind of not only putting the blame on him is Marvel got to stop trying to make all these movies the fucking same. I was watching Shang-Chi the other day because, I don't like to get up here and talk shit and not watch these movies. So I watched Shang-Chi the other day and I noticed that they had something called Dragon Scales. For those of you that have seen Shang-Chi, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I'm like, nigga, this is the same shit as vibranium. It cuts through anything. It absorbs shit. I'm like, y'all just did vibranium, but Chinese. Like, I don't understand. Like, even he goes to this hidden place in this hidden jungle that nobody could conquer because they're so good. I'm like, you just did Black Panther again, but Chinese. Like, I don't understand. Like, y'all making the same movie. Even when I saw Black Widow, you can't recast T'Challa, but you can make Taskmaster into somebody that Taskmaster never was. Taskmaster was never not deaf, but a mute person who just used computers to mimic people's moves. His name was Tony Masters, and he worked for S.H.I.E.L.D. at first, and then he defected. It's not that shit has nothing to do with what they had as Taskmaster, and Black Widow flopped. So Marvel, and I mentioned Matt Reeves earlier. I don't want to get too much away from Black Panther, but I mentioned Matt Reeves and I said you can't help but watch that Matt Reeves Batman trailer, not the movie, but the trailer, because the movie didn't come out yet at the time of this video. You can't help but watch that trailer and say, look, what if Black Panther had a director that was willing to do something that was a little bit different? You understand what I'm saying? Because a lot of those Marvel movies are starting to get tiring. Like, okay, this shit seems like a Saturday morning cartoon, but it's not even as edgy as the Saturday morning cartoons used to be. So now, me and Akin got some opinions on who could be casted as the next T'Challa Black Panther and truly pass the mantle. So, my vote is, I would like to see Damson Idris.
Yes, of course.
Play the character.
And we agree on the same casting choices.
Damson Idris, and you had said, what was the guy's name for Moonlight?
Javante Rhodes, I think.
Trayvon Rhodes.
Trayvon Rhodes, I think.
So Trayvon Rhodes, he could definitely play Black Panther. We'll put their faces on the video and shit. I heard a couple John David Washingtons when I went on Twitter. Now, I think John David Washington got it with the acting.
He got it with the acting.
I think that out of everybody, I think he might be the best actor.
Yeah.
Now, Akin did say that he feels like he has to work out more for the role. For the record, because this is about Black Panther, not necessarily John David.
Yeah.
But I do think that Tenet was a great movie.
It was a good movie.
And I do think that he probably shouldn't be cast as Black Panther, but he'll be perfect to play Mr. Fantastic in the Fantastic Four. He'll be perfect for that shit. Like
playing a scientist with the way he speak, his demeanor, it'd be fine.
And then a scientist that could also fight and do powers and shit. That's his shit. Yeah. So we got Damson Idris, Trayvon Rhodes, and then it was another dude. I think it was Boubacar.
Yeah, the guy who voices.
He did a voice for an Assassin's Creed character.
And we saw some clips from the dude. His voice, he got the best voice of everybody.
And he looks like Black Panther from the comics.
And he does look like Black Panther. So I think it would be probably the best choice of everybody just because of the acting. And I have a soft spot for a lot of UK actors. I feel like the whole culture, they are making some of the best actors in the world. And if I'm not mistaken, he's also from the UK. Yeah. And I think that he could take this role to another level.
I think he could too. And then they had the other guy. Unfortunately, I don't know this dude's. I forgot this guy's name.
Yeah.
you know, but maybe you guys remember him. He was in Girls Trip.
Yeah.
Okay, and he's also been in Insecure.
Yes.
Now, unfortunately, his name has slipped my mind at this moment.
But we'll put it on top.
But we will put his name on top for respect, and that's like 4 people.
Yeah.
That could absolutely, you know, nothing against, you know, light skinned people, but we do need dark skin, or, you know, like.
I'm not too hung up on the complexion of the Black Panther. Like, I mean, yeah, a light skinned one might be off the actual culture of the comic books, but it's still gotta be somebody of prominence. Like when they come on screen, they have a certain type of presence. You know what I'm saying?
If it's a light skinned nigga, you gotta get like a light skinned person that look black. Like you gotta get a Russell Westbrook type.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, that's true.
You can't just get like some regular. Like you can't get fucking. What's the dude that they said? It was one dude. I be forgetting.
We're gonna show his picture up here.
But we gonna show his picture, and they wanted him to play him. I was like, nah, bro. He too. Come on,
like,
bro. And it's just like, sure, that's like if they picked. Perfect. That's like if they picked. Damn, what's
Zendaya?
Nah, fuck that. It's like if they picked, what's that girl name, yo? She's Lisa Bonet's daughter.
Zoe Kravitz.
That's like if they picked Zoe Kravitz to play Storm.
Yeah.
Then again,
and
Zoe
that's why
Kravitz,
too,
though.
Anthony Mackie is not a good choice for Captain America, cause he's black. Now I do understand that. No. I do understand that he took up the mantle in the comic books, but white people not gonna watch that shit, and I understand because, you know, you want your patriot in your comic book to be that of a white dude, and Mackie is just not that dude. It's not gonna transmit to your spirit. Just like for us, we need certain people to play the parts of Black Panther and Shuri. So then also too, with the casting of Black Panther, I don't want to hear shit about no continuation. All right, they have a whole multiverse where Garfield and Maguire have been brung back. This talks about Cruz being casted as Iron Man in the multiverse. Hulk has been casted twice. There's been a whole bunch of recasts. Before multiverse. So I don't want to hear shit about no continuation.
Now, I want you guys to like, comment, and subscribe. Comment who you think should play Black Panther. If it's the nigga from down the block or a person that you really like that's been in a couple movies, definitely put them. This was Base to Your Face, okay? My name is Edidion Essien.
Also, my name is Kenny Ene, and until next time.